Hi, I'm Jane Lanfear from the Laverne Chamber, and we're here today. Our sponsor this week is Pepsi of Pipestone. With the weather getting warmer, there's nothing better than an ice-cold Pepsi product to quench your thirst. So make sure you get out there and quench your thirst with Pepsi. Today, we're honored to have a representative from our favorite state park, Mounds State Park, and I'd like to welcome the naturalist, Tiffany Mueller. So, Tiffany, tell me what's going on at the state park. What exciting things are happening?
Well, we've got a lot going on at Mounds State Park. We are gearing up for our regular camping season. Camping is already happening, and we're almost booked up for Memorial Day weekend already.
Wow.
So get those reservations made early if you want to get out there. We also have bison calves being born. Everything's greening up, and a lot more naturalist programs on the horizon for the summer.
That is awesome. So tell me about, I know people love to camp out there. We've already had a couple that have come to the Brandenburg Gallery and the Military Museum, and they said, well, the water's not on yet, but can you tell us when about the water is on?
The water is actually on this Friday.
Oh, big day tomorrow.
Yep, big day tomorrow. We've been slowly working on it this past week, but everything should be officially on by tomorrow.
Yeah.
And ready to go for the weekend camping.
Oh, that's great. Well, people love to get out there. It's such a beautiful state park to hike on. So tell me about we were just talking a few minutes ago how many bison that you've seen, but there could be some other baby bison in the future.
Yeah. So we had our first calf born last Tuesday, and there's for sure 2 of them on the ground already. But we are expecting between 20 and 25 calves.
Wow.
Before the end of our calving season, which is typically around the end of June.
So how many adult bison are out there?
We did overwinter with 61 bison, but this includes our adult cows as well as their calves from last year. So they're not quite adult age yet.
Okay. Well, there'll be a lot of bison out there. Then you're talking in the 80s or something.
Yep. By the end of calving season, we're expecting right around the 80s for numbers.
Well, speaking of bison, one of the things people love to do is go on the bison tour. And if you haven't been on a bison tour, you make sure you put it on your bucket list to do this summer. So can you tell me about the bison tours, when they start, how people register and everything like that?
Sure. So the bison tours are available all summer long, starting Memorial Day weekend. That Thursday before Memorial Day, we officially launch, and we'll have 10 tours offered throughout the weekend. They do require a reservation, so you gotta get that reservation made so you can join me on the prairie. They are $15 for adults, $10 for youth. And we actually take you on an 1.5-hour long tour across the prairie where not only will we hopefully see those bison and those babies, but we'll also see everything else that the prairie has to offer as well. And you can make those reservations either online or by calling the reservation site.
Okay, well, that's something people should do. So make sure you get that. You get a reservation and go out there. You'll really enjoy it. Really interesting. They have so much information that they share with us. So then you maybe talk about greening up. Been out on the prairie, and I love to see the prairie flowers blooming. So if we were to go out there in May, hopefully it'll warm up a little bit. And what kind of blooming flowers will you see in May?
Yeah, so May brings about kind of our first really batch of wildflowers. So things like prairie smoke, prairie violets are some of my favorites to be on the lookout for. They're going to be those low-lying plants this time of year, so you do got to look close to the ground for those. You got to wait for the tall ones in August.
Yeah, when they grow. Yeah, and all the grasses grow. Yeah, that's awesome. So, also one of the things. So, can you tell me how the park wintered? I mean, we haven't had a lot of moisture. So, are you seeing this hard on the animal on the grasses and everything else at the park? The bison, are they having any, do they have enough grass and everything to feed on, with a lack of moisture?
So Prairie is really good at handling drought. So we haven't really seen any real adverse effects of the low snow levels. We do need rain, of course. But so far we don't see any real adverse effects on the prairie landscape here. It really is built to handle those low levels of moisture, and the bison will find plenty to eat as things green up. They'll be okay.
Okay. Well, they're hardy animals. They were built here before. They were here for centuries, right? Mm-hmm. So we're so lucky to have the herd here, and we're so lucky to have Mounds State Park here. So maybe you can share a little bit. So how many acres are there in the park?
Yeah, we have about 1,500 acres that's in our boundaries, and about 500 of that is actually just for the bison. So they've got their own little third of the park that they get to roam in, and the rest of it is free for park visitors to explore, go camping, hiking, biking, and any other kind of wildlife or plant viewing as well.
Are you seeing bird migration too this time of year?
Oh yes, the birds are back. Definitely one of my favorite times of year. Some of those real common ones that we see every year, like meadowlarks, the yellow-rumped warblers, they're back already looking for their homes and setting up their nests already. And we'll be getting plenty more in the coming weeks for sure.
So the turkey vultures, they're still out there. You used to have a lot of turkey vultures out there?
Yep, the turkey vultures are back. They've been circling in their kettles for a couple weeks now already, so they're quite abundant as they always are.
It's really kind of fun to go out there and see the wind and watch those vultures just kind of fly around and surf on the wind. It's kind of a very interesting thing to see and realize what they do. That is awesome. So maybe for the campers, you can share a little bit. Do you know about how many camping sites you have? And
yeah, we've got about 70 campsites in the main campground. We also have 14 cart-in sites as well. Not all of the main campground is electric. Some are electric, some are non-electric. And something new this year to keep in mind is we are no longer offering the teepee campsites. The tribes have asked us to discontinue those, and we honored that request.
Absolutely.
So those are no longer available.
Okay. And, for those of us that have been in Rock County a long time, many of us went swimming out at the lake, and now it's meandering streams and more nature. So how is that part of the park? It's growing. You're seeing more wildlife there because of the trickling water and that sort of thing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the stream restoration has been extremely successful. It's now pretty much taken over by the beavers, so you get to witness some real intense beaver activity with their lodge, their dams, all the trees that they've cut down, and we see all the other animals that they invite with their presence as well. Everything from other mammals like muskrats and mink to more birds, a lot more herons, and more ducks present at the park because of that beaver pond. And of course the frogs are croaking nowadays too.
I bet. Wow.
It is really full of life down there now.
Well, so the America 250 committee is partnering with the state park. We're introducing a little series called a Passport Series that'll be kicking off in early June. And it's opportunities to get around and enjoy what's happening in Rock County, at different places in Rock County, and learn about the history or some of the nature. And we're honored that one of the events that we're really excited about being able to participate is in June. Do you want to talk about that and what day that is?
Sure. So we are offering our little segment on Free Park Day, which is June 13th this year. And it'll actually be our seasonal naturalist will be presenting it because I'm on tour duty. But she'll be talking about some of the historic architecture that is found in the park. So it's definitely worth coming to check out. She does a great job with,
Oh, yeah.
with that background.
A lot of that architecture was built during the WPA back after the Depression. So if people want to learn a little bit about history and how important that program was to build lots of parts of Rock County, make sure that you plan to get out there. And we'll look forward to seeing you at the park. Is there anything else you want to add?
I guess the only other thing that I can think of is come check out a naturalist program sometime this summer. We offer a whole variety of stuff, everything from guided hikes to little nature tables to campfire programs and kid-specific programs. So we've got a lot coming up. Check the calendar, online events calendar, or in the announcer every week.
Well, we're very happy that they have such a strong naturalist program out at the park. Years ago, there probably an issue with state funding, and we didn't have a naturalist for several years. And really learning about the prairie is something that we all should do and really appreciate the beauty of it because it's its own special beauty. So make sure you get out to Mounds State Park and enjoy everything they have to offer there. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thanks for having me.